I love meat too.
Your children must be so proud.
Sometimes they're so embarrassed. Dad, don't put your feet out the window. We had a son who was terribly afraid of public feet. So, because I hate wearing shoes and socks, so I'm always bare feet. If I stuck it out the window when we were driving, especially when I was So, what would that give for acting? What is that a good? Why is that a good acting exercise?
It's fun.
Improv, because you have to realize what you're doing and getting it there quick and convincing.
Thinking on your feet, working with the team, give and take, all of that. Yes.
Put you on your feet, and a lot of life situations, if you're rushing, then it gets you to that point where you're becoming
just right there in the now. Just right there.
I have one phrase for you.
What?
Whose line is it anyway?
Whose line is it? So, when you guys were up there, were any of you thinking about the fact that there's, 40 people staring at you? Doing hysterically embarrassing things?
I do that all the time. At first, but then when it became the game and you kept counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's it. I just forgot about everyone else.
That is exactly the brain that turns on when you're acting. Because acting is being involved in an activity. You have to be involved with what you're doing in that moment, and everything else has to disappear. And that's what a game like this, oh my gosh, there's tape on the floor. That's what a game like this teaches you. It teaches you how to put your brain in that mode to where all you think about is the partner, the group, the activity, the obstacle. I was the obstacle in this case. I was giving the tasks going along. Yes?
I also think about, it's funny that she mentioned that book because I'm taking an acting class right now. I'm going for theater.
Excellent.
And I think about, guidepost number 1, guidepost number 2, relationships, conflict, the moment before, and things like that. So I don't think about people watching it.
It's a good book to, very good book.
Yeah, this book they're talking about is called Audition by Michael Shurtleff, and it's been a classic in the acting realm since, I had it in 1989, yeah. 1989, that's back with parachute pants and dinosaurs. There were no parachute pants.
There were dinosaurs.
There were dinosaurs. But if you're going to audition for something, that's a great book for you to get. So that's what an activity like that gives you. Any questions so far? Yes, sir.
Like a good tip for when you need to interact with people, like when you were, let's say, dinner, mystery or something, when you actually have to interact and improvise.
Yes. My mentor, Viola Spolin, is an improvisation, and she teaches a different sort of becoming involved. I'm not sure it would work as a book just to read. There's probably other books. I don't really have a good answer to that question. But once again, it just becomes about the activity. As soon as you're worried about yourself, you're out of focus. Whenever you get nervous, take the focus off yourself, put it on your problem or your activity or the partner or the person you're staring at. I had an acting teacher that say who would say, if you ever lose it, just feel your toes. Everyone feel your toes right now. Not with your hands, just inside your... Yeah, so it's like, oh, right. And he would also say, relax your tongue. Because you'd never know, a lot of times when we start to get nervous, the first thing that tenses up is our tongue. We go...
Tongue twisters always work.
I have some great tongue twisters. My children love tongue twisters. Tongue twisters are another very important thing since they were brought up. If you want to become really good at speaking in front of people, pick a tongue twister and do it every single day, 12 times a day. It'll take 11 seconds to do it. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. 11 seconds for 12 times a day. It'd have to be less than a 1 second tongue twister. Oh, but there's a very short one, Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Try to say Peggy Babcock 3 times fast. Ready? Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy-lack-a-lack. You guys don't sound right.
Meeting my mustache.
So you find a tongue twister, and it's just like any other musculature you have. You can't become a dancer without practicing those muscle movements, the muscle memory. You can't become an actor until you have really good, strong musculature in your mouth and your glottis and your tongue and all of that. Does that answer your question? Ish? Someone pull that door, close it. Drives me crazy, makes me scared. Not
I thought you
really.
said you weren't scared of anything.
I'm not the doors. Just the doors.
Oh, okay, understandable.
So acting on stage, you just have to be in front of the audience. When you're acting on camera, you have to be in a very specific mark to be in the exact shot the way the director wants it.
Right, right.
How do you balance the character and standing on that little X on the ground?
Well, here's the deal. It depends. Acting on film is totally different than acting on stage. Acting on stage is, in my opinion, real acting. Acting on film, you can teach Britney Spears to do it. No offense to Britney, she's a lovely girl, and I think she's been horribly vilified by the press. But she's not an actor. But there are people who become brilliant actors, brilliant film actors, who if you were to put them on stage would fall apart. So the film acting is very technical. And once you get... Something spooky is happening. Once you get good at it, and once you have a good director, I work with a director, Matt Tompkins, and he's very free with his direction. So the way we did this movie called La Fragilidad de los Segundos, the fragility of seconds, was very organic. And that's the style I adopted as a director, to let the actors do things and I would place the camera around them. A lot of directors know exactly what they want the shot to look like, and so if you have enough rehearsal time, you can rehearse it and get it right. But it's also about knowing the process of filmmaking, because you'll start with a wide, like a master shot, and you got to make sure, well, I don't want to blow, you know, my gold on this master shot. You kind of rein it in a bit. And you're going to have a close-up or a medium close-up at some point, and that's when you really sort of focus in.
What's some advice you'd give to someone who wants to pursue a career in voice acting?
Move to Dallas or LA. Start with that, and then ask for auditions.
Dallas it is!
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Chicago.
Where do you live?
Now I live in Fort Worth. I'm a Texan. Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
It's in Texas.
Oh. And then also,
city of Dallas.
are you with like an agency or anything?
Yes, Mary
Yes.
Collins Agency in Dallas. The best agency in Dallas. I have brilliant people working with me.
They give you cupcakes.
They don't give me cupcakes.
Then they're not brilliant.
They should bring me cupcakes. Yes.
Actually, because I know, like, depending on what acting stage, it's really different, but what do you prefer? Do you prefer voice acting, stage acting, or film?
No, I think mostly I like sitting on the laps of contrary. Oh, okay. So we do the rest of it from here. No, good second. I like stage acting best. But this film I just directed, Arbor Day, the musical, has convinced me that I like directing and working with an ensemble of film actors the way I like to shoot. Because the way I shoot, I pretty much just like, I'm holding the camera and actors are doing stuff and they sort of take over and I have to keep up with them because it's very loose and free improv style. I have a script written and then I say, whatever works for them we keep, and they'll come to me and say, this scene is, oh, do what you want, but you have to break up with her at the end of it. That's it. So whatever, figure it out. And they go away for a half hour and come back and I shoot it and it's brilliant.